as the black dreaming overthrown.
A giant slept in silence, waiting for my name. 10,000 years of quiet, calling through the flame.
I fell through empty sky, wings too tall to fly. 60 years of searching, asking every why.
Then arms reached out from nowhere, held me through the fall.
A strange, steady heartbeat, answering my call. One life,
one death,
one moment in the dark,
one promise we can't break,
written in the spark.
6 tales among the stars. I reach, you catch, we start.
A vow of life,
A vow of heart,
forever from this past. I will make this count
for both of
I
us.
will not let go.
Even if the stars turn down,
For all the tales yet to come, for all the nights yet to draw.
6 tales among the stars. We reach, we hold, we are.
A dead of life, forever, right where we
The conversation with his father lingered like a warm ember in Kaito's chest, long after the hologram had faded, carrying him through the quiet hours of the night and into the early morning when the Academy's simulated dawn began to paint the orbital ring in soft hues of gold and rose. He rose before most students stirred, dressing in his naval blue uniform with the familiar, careful grace, though today his 6 white tails seemed to sway with a deeper sense of purpose, curling modestly behind him as he slipped from the dormitory and made his way toward the auxiliary dry dock on the far side of the vast station. The corridors were still hushed, the air cool and recycled, and as he walked, he let his mind drift back to the previous evening, the pride in his father's voice, the weight of the company logo on his chest, the promise of the ship that had waited 10,000 years just for this day. When he finally stepped through the great pressure doors into the dockyard itself, the sight that met him stole the breath from his lungs and left him standing motionless, one gloved hand resting lightly against the observation rail. There she was, his ship, filling the immense internal space like a small world that had wandered into the harbor and decided to stay forever. Even the largest battleships moored nearby looked like mere silver ants beside her planetary hull, their proud superstructures barely reaching the lowest gentle curve of her lower decks. She rested in patient, ancient silence, gunmetal grey and antique white plating, scarred by 10,000 years of quiet waiting. Massive shield generator domes, glowing with a faint, aurora-like shimmer, along her spine and flanks. Near the bow, the name Six-Tailed Kitsune & Co. gleamed in fresh silver and black lettering beside the fierce kitsune emblem, and the open hangars yawned like cathedral arches, large enough to cradle entire fleets. Kaito stood there for a long, breathless moment, crimson eyes wide with reverence, six tails fluffing slightly with the overwhelming emotion, before he drew a slow, steadying breath and turned toward the personnel gate. On a vessel this size, there was no other way. The internal teleportation network remained locked behind a security protocol as old as the ship herself. No one, not even the rightful owner, could blink across her endless length until she had formally recognized her captain. The transport shuttle hummed to life at his approach, carrying him smoothly through the cavernous interior, past silent repair scaffolds and dimly lit storage bays, the journey itself taking nearly 20 minutes until it settled gently near the forward bridge complex. He stepped out into the vast cockpit area, a cathedral-like space of polished consoles and holographic displays that flickered to life at his presence, and approached the registration plate with fingers that trembled just a little. Placing his palm against the cool surface, he spoke the words his father had prepared, voice soft yet steady in the echoing silence. Kaito of Six-Tailed Kitsune & Co. claims full command of this vessel under unlimited capital class certification. A soft, almost grateful chime answered. Lights bloomed across every panel in warm gold, and the ship woke with a deep, resonant hum that seemed to settle into his bones, as though she had been waiting 10,000 years just for this moment. The teleportation system unlocked at once, and Kaito felt the gentle vibration of systems coming online all around him, like a long sigh of relief from something ancient and alive. He moved to the captain's chair and sank into it, letting his six tails drape comfortably over the armrests, and called up the system diagnostics one by one. She was fully automatic. Every function from navigation to life support to defensive protocols could run without a single living soul if necessary. The realization settled over him like soft starlight. If ever a crew began to feel the creeping whisper of space corruption in the long dark, if minds started to unravel, the ship could still carry them home safely, even without orders. It was as if she had been built with kindness woven into her very bones. With a careful touch, he opened the final log entries. The date glowed in crisp, ancient script. 10,000 years ago, the ship had been completed and abandoned the very same day, designated for immediate scrapping. Kaito sat very still, then reached down and gathered one of his six tails into his arms, hugging it close. "This ship," he whispered, voice thick with wonder and reverence. "This is the last one ever built of her class. She carries the newest technology any captain ship ever had." He downloaded every manual, log, and blueprint the old research corps still guarded, letting the data flow into his academy tablet like a quiet river of forgotten knowledge. Only then did he look down at the crisp naval blue uniform that still marked him as a student. A small, bittersweet smile touched his lips. "Finally," he murmured softly, "the day of telling you goodbye has come." He stood with quiet ceremony, fingers tracing the familiar fabric one last time, then activated the now unlocked internal teleport. In the space of a heartbeat, he stood in the captain's quarters, a space so vast and elegant it felt more like a private villa floating among the stars, with soft golden lighting warming the furnishings and wide windows offering views of the dockyard beyond. Waiting open in the wardrobe was the uniform his father had prepared, white and gold, immaculate, with special cutouts for his ears and a flowing back panel perfectly shaped for all six tails. Kaito changed slowly, almost reverently, folding the old blue uniform with care and placing it back inside the wardrobe. At the very end, he removed the insignia of Six-Tailed Kitsune & Co. from the old jacket and pinned it proudly onto the new white one, right over his heart. He looked at his reflection for a long moment, crimson eyes bright with quiet emotion. "Thank you, old friend," he he whispered to the folded blue uniform, "for your service." A glance at the chronometer brought him gently back. Classes would begin soon. With a soft sigh, he activated the teleport once more and stepped out directly outside the main academy building, materializing beneath the open simulated sky of the orbital ring. End of chapter 2.
The sky was pale when I caught you falling through. A single breath, a single choice, and everything was new.
Your wings were trembling, your voice was small and true.
I said forever,
Never knowing what it drew. I waited lifetimes in the silence of my ship. A broken hull, an empty heart, a hunger on my lip.
then arms reached out from nowhere, held me as I slipped. You said forever, and something inside me flipped.
One meal, one promise, one quiet place to land.
One growl of hunger met with an open hand.
Still among the stars, we sit, we breathe, we are a debt of life, a debt of heart. Still
Forever right where we are.
I don't know all the ways this path will bend,
But I will walk it with you.
until the end.
Ooh, for every tail, for every wing yet to mend.
Still among the stars,
We reach, we hold, we are a vow of life, a vow of heart. Still forever right where we are.
slow fade of the five-note motif. One last gentle chord